What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. As we know, with the new Pirate Rumble season that has just started, Zephyr is the headline character. If you play the Rumble season, you'll be able to get 2 copies of this Sugo Fest exclusive for free. So make sure to actually do that, get this character up, because it looks like he is going to super evolve when the Kizuna does drop a little later in October. So in this video, I want to discuss what this character currently does and give like a concept of what I would like to see for his super evolution. We've done it the last couple of months with the announced Super Evo, and I'm really fascinated to see what they're going to do with Zephyr. Now, we know that a few months back, or I say a few months back, but it's actually been quite a while now, Legend Shiki got his super evolution, and he actually got a pretty good buff, all things considered, from where he previously was to where he is now with level limit break and all of that. He's a much better unit. And then we got Tezora, who came out relatively recently as well, and Tezora's super evolution is actually really good. And if you guys haven't seen my showcase video, I highly advise you to go check it out, because he's very strong and you can use him in a lot of different ways. Very good as a sub, really good as a captain as well. So now we're covering Zephyr. I'm actually a really big fan of Zephyr, just in general. I have been trying to use him in Pirate Rumble, you know, since shooters have been, you know, getting a couple of buffs over the year. Obviously, they had Tandem Ace. When Tandem Ace got released, I tried to use shooters in Pirate Rumble, and then obviously with the Uta batch release, try to use it there as well. Zephyr is an interesting unit, and I think that there is some potential for him to be a very good captain. Shooters have some really good stuff right now. In terms of normal generic content like raids and arenas and stuff like that, in normal content, shooters are some of the best you can use. They've got great utility effects, like you've got like Legend Uta, the V1 Uta, of course. You've got Ben Beckman Lucky Roo, you've got Izo, you've got like a wide variety of really good shooter utility, powerful characters. They're not very good in Super Boss Kizuna, for example, like trying to reach high damage numbers. Shooters are not very good at that, but they're very good against generic content. So let's go ahead and talk about what Zephyr is capable of doing currently. So he is a quick shooter fighter, interesting combinations there. So his captain ability, obviously, it varies quite a lot. So you've got the base captain and limit break expansion, but then you've got the captain ability with level limit break, and then you've got the captain ability with level limit break and also limit break expansion. So I just want to really pertain to this. So this captain, -1 cooldown at the start of the fight, 4.5 attack to shooters only, 5.25 times instead with a matching slot, boost health of shooters by 1.2, 10% damage reduction, and anytime you activate an orb boosting special, you extend the duration of it by 1 turn. This particular effect, I never really understood why they gave this character this ability, because there's no part of his kit at all that pertains to giving you an orb boost. I assume this is meant to be used with Bins of the batch, because Bins, who debuted with Zephyr, is an orb booster. It's just a really odd ability, but I'll show you guys what I have in store in terms of a concept for this. So for Zephyr, this is what I would have in mind. So they'd make it a 2-turn cooldown reduction to make him kind of like a pseudo speed farming captain. 5 times attack, 5.5 with a matching slot, and these multipliers are kind of extrapolated from Tezora. Legend Tezora was, I believe, a 5 times captain with his 6+, and then he's 5.75 after you hit those 3 grades in a row. So, and the fact that he actually boosts all characters as well, whereas Zephyr is only focused on shooters. So I've made it so that it's pretty easy to get the high multiplier, but it's not as big as what Tezora is capable of giving your crew. I still think it's relatively fair in terms of the multipliers here, 5 times or 5.5. 1.2 health, which is the same, 15% damage reduction instead of 10%, and now we'll extend the duration of attack and slot boosting effects by 1 turn. So I think this would be a nice addition, because with his own special, he does actually allow you to get an attack boost, and being able to extend that would be awesome. So just add attack boost and slot effects to it. Well, yes, I think this would be a better use to be, you know, exchange for like a utility focused effect, kind of like what Tezora has, where if you build your team in a certain way, you resist special reverse and special bind, and I really like that ability, whereas Zephyr has this ability instead. Even Legend Shiki, when Legend Shiki got his 6+, they actually gave him utility in his captain as well. So I'm not expecting Zephyr to receive utility just from what we've seen with his level limit break, but I think with a 6+, potentially something like this could be on the cards. Now, just going back to Tezora for a second, the big thing about this character's release is that when he was getting that super evolution, they gave him a super type ability. And I think this, I would love to see more of this. I hope this is not just because Tesoro was an out of schedule super evolution, they decided to make it special and just give him a super type because why not? I would love if this is a continued theming moving forward for characters that didn't have a super type to then gain one upon super evolution. Would be amazing. I hope that we see more of this in the future, and I am expecting for Zephyr to receive a super type or a super class, and that's exactly what I've done here. So he would be a super class for shooter characters, which makes sense. He says that in order to get this super type to activate, you need 6 shooters on your crew, which I don't think is that harsh of a condition. When you got Tesoro with his super evolution where you need 1 of every class, this just requires 6 shooters, so you do have to build with shooters in mind, which I don't think is that bad. If you're opting to use him as a captain, you're building a shooter team, right? His effect would boost shooter characters' attack by 1.5 for 1 turn, but it's an overwritable attack boost, and this makes sense with this special, and we'll talk about it in a moment. And then it also gives 80% damage reduction for 1 turn, and then shooter characters become super shooter. So it's not an amazing super class, but then again, you could compare the same thing as when Tesoro with his super type. His super type wasn't really that great. A base attack boost and changing some slots into rainbow, it's like, yeah, kind of whatever. And I think this effect by itself is also kind of whatever, but it's supposed to work with his special, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So moving back to the 6-star form of Zephyr, the current form of Zephyr, with his special ability, it actually does a couple different things. First of which, a 30% health cut to a single target. It gives a 2.25 attack boost for 3 turns. It adds 100 times his attack as typeless bonus damage for 3 turns, so when you tap with him, it adds an additional little chunk of damage. And then it changes slots, including block of shooters, into matching. And if your crew has a rainbow shield damage reduction on your side of the field, when you launch the special, it reduces enemies' blue shield and enemies' rainbow shield by 3 turns, and it reduces bind and despair by 3 turns. So this is a really neat ability. So if you have a rainbow shield buff, you can get just extra utility with his special. And that's why I made his super type to allow you to get a damage reduction effect, so you can launch that effect, and then you'd be able to proc the additional ability to remove enemy defensive effects, as well as removing some gimmicks on your side of the field. I think that would be a great addition to this character. So let's move on to the special. Now, I just want to touch back on the super class, where you get the overridable attack boost and an 80% damage reduction, which obviously goes really well with that special. So what I've done here for his special is that I've made the damage, the 30% health cut to one character is the same. Shooters will now get a 2.5 attack for 3 turns, and if the crew already has an attack boost when you launch the special, it boosts shooter characters' slot effect boosts by 2.5 for 2 turns. So if we just have a look at this component here, if you use Zephyr as a captain, you can use his super type or his super class. You get damage reduction. When you launch the special of Zephyr, it will overwrite your overwritable attack boost with the 2.5 boost instead. But because you already had an attack boost when you launched the special, you will also receive this orb boost. Remember, with his captain ability that I talked about, is that it also extends the duration of attack and slot effect boosts by 1 turn. So this effect actually becomes a 4-turn 2.5 attack and a 3-turn 2.5 orb boost. And if you're on double Zephyr for whatever reason, you can actually get that to become even more. So I think that's a really cool effect, that you can use that super class to generate both an attack and an orb boost. It'd be really, really nice if you could do that. Now, furthermore, it does add 100 times his attack in non-type bonus damage on top of tap timing bonuses for 3 turns, which is the exact same. But I've also stated that it makes this effect ignore normal attacks only, because tap timing bonus damage, realistically, it doesn't actually add that much damage. And I think it would just be cool if he could actually bypass normal attacks only with tap timing bonus. Like, yeah, it doesn't actually add a lot of damage. I don't think it's that broken of an ability. So I don't see why not just make the tap timing bonus go through normal attacks only. You know, it's not that big of a deal. Furthermore, shooter characters will get a full board of matching slots going through block slots, which is the same as before. And then if the crew has a damage reduction status, except threshold damage reduction. So this basically means if you activate the special when you have a rainbow shield, you will go ahead and reduce enemies' defense up and damage reduction by 5 turns, buffed from the previous 3 turns, and then Binding Despair is removed by 4 turns from the previous 3. So this makes him a much more usable character, especially as a captain, using that effect to get the damage reduction and the overrideable attack boost to get the full complement of this special simultaneously. So to get an attack boost, orb boost, tap timing bonus damage, matching slots, utility across the board, I think would be awesome, and I think that would really make this character very well rounded, and I would love to have a character such as that in my character box. The fact that this character also has the potential ability of Barrier Pierce allows you to stack it very well with characters such as Izo or Ben Beckman and Lucky Roo in that manner, so you could hybrid him up in that sense. He has lots of cooldown in his captain, as we've kind of discussed in this concept, -2 cooldown, so you could use him in a speed farm concept. And that's the thing as well, is that Ben Beckman, Lucky Roo also have -2 cooldown in their captain, allow you to speed farm content quicker. Alternatively, you could have Uta on your team, you could have the tandem ace. Like, there's lots of different ways you could use him. Like, he's a really, really powerful unit in this fashion, and I would love to see a concept such as this come into fruition. Now look, we always, you know, overhype how good or bad super evolutions can be, and we've done it over the past few months where we really hope certain super evolutions are better than what they actually are when they come out, like Whitebeard and Marco, for example. I think a lot of people were kind of hoping for a bit more with that character, and that character was a little bit disappointing. So I hope I'm not being too crazy here, and I hope that we get something similar to what I've talked about in this video. But if you guys have any information or thoughts about what you would like to see with Black Arm Zephyr with his super evolution, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, though, just to breed a little bit of discussion in the community. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. I'm that, guys. I'll see you guys within the next video.